First of all, I would like to thank God not just for having us all here today, but for giving me the opportunity to be able to celebrate this moment, not just with my family, but with my friends, with my relatives, even some people that I don't recognize, but either way, I still see you guys as part of this community. Growing up, I never understood why, in our community we celebrate high school graduation so much. People renting the big venues like this one, having these big celebrations with food, with people. But as I approach that part of my life, I realize it's because we're starting a new chapter in our life. From now on, as a graduate that's 18, I'm not going to be waiting for my dad to wake me up at 6 in the morning and take me to school, or asking my parents, who's going to take me to my friend's house? Are you driving me there? Can I go here? Can I do that? I now realize that in this chapter of my life, I make those decisions myself. I become responsible for my own well-being. And as I come into that, I have so many people to thank. I have to thank this community that brought us all together, the Ethiopian community. My dad always pressures me and tells me, hey, you need to prioritize your community. And when you grow up, always give back. This is what gave you this foundation. It's all from your community. And he's right. I mean, not just this, but through the church, I met my wonderful friends. I received wonderful guidance, not just from priests, but from deacons, from parents. I saw many amazing people grow into doctors, lawyers, engineers, all that stuff through the community that they grew up in. And for that, I want to dearly thank this community, this close-knit community in Nashville, but not just in Nashville, but in the whole world, the Ethiopian community. And that's one of the prime things of my foundation and will contribute to my future. The next thing I want to thank are the people in my life. I mean, there's so many people in my life, as you can see. I have amazing friends. I have amazing relatives that come from across the world to come just to see me graduate. But a few that stand out are, one is Dahab. Dahab, since we were little kids, since we were babies, me and Tomas, I always remember, you always took care of us. I remember when mom and dad, when they didn't want to buy us toys at the store, you'd come knock on our door and you'd come with us for a toy, just for us to play with, when mom and dad said no. I remember you always being there, making us food, treating us like your kids whenever we came to your house with our parents. And for that, I don't know how I can thank you, seriously. You're one of my other mothers, really. Aww. Not just her, but also Akiste. Of course, she's obviously like my mother. I mean, they're sisters. I mean, they look alike. Look at them. They look the same. Not just that, she doesn't live in Nashville, but she's always coming to visit. She always wants to see us. She's always wants to talk to Thomas and Iobi Laura. She's always trying to talk to us. She always took care of us. Same thing. She would buy us gifts. She would treat us like her own children in her own house. Everything with her. She's literally like my other mom, and I don't know how I can thank you for everything. Both of you guys, I love you so much. Next, people I can thank are my friends, my beautiful friends, as you guys see here. Not just them, but all the way back there. A few of them are too shy to do a speech, but yeah, my friends, they're so important to me. I don't know where I'd be without them. Not just for the fun stuff that we do, but just having people to talk to, having people to bond with, to share new experiences with, to even argue, whether that be something about something stupid or something important, but just having all these dear friends in my life, it's just, seriously, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that I get to call all these people my friends, not just the ones that I grew up with in the church that, to be honest, I don't even think of them as my friends. I think of them as my brothers, nothing more, nothing less. My brothers, I don't see them as my friends. I grew up with them since I was a little kid. These are the only dudes that I know since I was a kid. Not just them, but even my school friends that came over here, came in the graduation. They were a little bit shy because, everyone's here in Ethiopia is Ethiopian, and they're parents not joking. They still came in, they were the kamis, they still had a good time. And I thank them so much. Yeah, I thank them so much for all of the memories we made in school, all the stuff we've helped each other out with, whether that is school or outside of school. These guys, I don't want to lose them, so I want to make sure I keep them close in my life. But I love you guys, all of my friends. Okay. And then next person I want to thank is Tomas, my brother. Even though I shouldn't have to say much about him because I already spoke at his graduation last year, but I'll go again just for the sake of it. But Tomas, for my family, he was like mom and dad's project, you know? Whenever he was born, they worked on him. They went to work on him. They always made him read books. They made him do all this stuff to make sure he came out smart as a good older brother for me. And it turned out amazing because now, whenever I need something, I don't have to go to my parents. I can go straight to Tomas. Whether it's for school or just advice in general, Tomas is the most intellectual, smartest person I know. You can just tell from the smallest conversations you have with this guy. He just shows how deeply, you know, in tune he is with, you know, not just education, but just, you know, overall, just being intellectual. And for that, I'm so blessed to be able to call him my older brother. Obviously, I see him as a role model, as most younger siblings do. You know, he's one of the hardest workers I know. Extremely smart and extremely intelligent, extremely kind, not kind, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to get to. You know, he's my brother, so he always takes care of me. Me and him, we bond over so many things. Of course, we used to fight a lot, like every sibling. I think me and Tomas fought the most out of everybody, to be honest. It was bad. It was really bad. But now that we're matured, me and him, we share a great relationship. We can talk hours and hours about things we were passionate about. And yeah, I'm grateful to be able to call him my brother. I love him. So moving on is the big guy. This is they call me Little Teddy because me and him we look alike. But my dad, just like most dads, he's the best man to talk to. Not just about, you know, if I need advice or something, but just to be able to shape me on who I want to be when I'm older. My dad he was unique from all the other dads. Not just because he was a little bit strict, but just the stuff he made us do, like the lessons. Every little thing for him, it was a lesson. Because he wanted to shape us since we were little kids. It'd be the smallest stuff. Like, don't say this, don't say that. And when I was a kid, I didn't understand why. Why can't I do this? Why can't I say this? And it's because he wanted to shape us into the best man that we can be. And for that, I thank him so much. Because now that I'm older, I realize all of these lessons, all of these things he had us do was for a reason. Not just to make sure we weren't, you know, playing video games all day and just doing, you know, dumb stuff, but it was because it really benefited us in the future. And not only that, he's a great father figure. I mean, he's so in touch with his community. He gives back. He puts so much work, so much time, so much effort into his people, into the people around him that it's just so admirable, and it's someone that I want to be like when I'm older. And for that, I'm blessed to be able to call him my dad, and feel I'll have him forever. Let's see. Now, image other shot. You know how to save the best for last. The mom. Let's see. If you guys know me, you guys know I love my mom too much, a little bit too much. You know, they always call me mama's boy, mommy's boy, whatever. Because I'm just, she's my everything to me. My mom, she's everything I want to be when I'm older. She's the hardest working person I know. I mean, I think that's where Tomas gets it, is from her. The stuff that I see her do, she was running around, just running around, just running around trying to get everything straight, stressing herself out for no reason. I don't know why, but she just wanted to do that. Not just that. In the house, in school, pushing us to be the best. Like, she's just the hardest working person I know, and it's hard to watch sometimes because, you know, she needs to rest a little bit. She needs to go to sleep. But, you know, it's great to look up to. You know, my mom, she's my biggest inspiration. Everything I do in my life is for her. My school, you know, the person I want to become, everything is just because I want to give back to my family, my parents, my mom, because they've just shaped everything for me. And Ozzy is the most, you can ask anybody, not just you guys, everybody. She's the sweetest, most lovable person you'll ever meet. There's no one as sweet as her, to be honest. Yes. No, but yeah, my mom is my biggest inspiration. I look up to her every day. Everything I do is for her, and I love her so much. And lastly, I want to thank everybody for coming today, not just the family that came from different parts of the world, from Europe, from Canada, from all around the US, but even the people from Nashville. Thank you so much for coming today, watching me graduate. You know, it really makes me happy to see everybody together having a good time, not just my friends, but even the adults, my family, everything. It's a very heartwarming feeling to see our community so close together, and I thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you.